All right, everyone. Welcome. Hello. Hi. Nice to see you all. Let's get settled into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Whoa, it's growing by the minute. All right. Yeah. And the co-host, not that. Oh. So let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And let me just change to gallery so I can see you all. There we go. And your feet flat on the floor if you are sitting that way rather than cross-legged, about a hip's width apart. And feel the weight of your feet in the floor, your hands in your lap, and your sits bones in your chair. And align your shoulders with your hips, your ears with your shoulders. And imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Go to the crown of the head and relax your scalp, the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the ears, the inner ear, the temples, and the back of the head, and the neck. And just allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down and relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. Notice the sensations of your breath as you inhale and exhale. And just be aware of any sound in your environment, trying not to follow that sound. Just allow them to be there. Anything you can smell, just allow it to be there. And just check in with yourself this evening. Just sort of like, hi, how are you? What's going on? What kind of day have you had? And just be objective about what you see in your mind. Try and put some space in between your thoughts. Try not to follow the stories. And then bring to mind some people of your life. So these, we do have some people in our life whose relationships are extraordinary and profound and deep. Some people who, we can talk things through easily, continue to deepen our relationship through that process. And then there's other people where it's just like completely impossible. We have aversion for them, or it's just difficult. And then there's people in our life who, they're just strangers. We don't really care. And these are the ones we're mostly passing on our daily life, at the store, on the road, people down the street. And all these people, regardless of how we feel about them, these relationships they're interchangeable. They can change, they can shift, and they're all equal because they just the same as you and me. They want to be happy. They don't want to suffer. And they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So I think we'll do this practice of Vajrasattva tonight for all these people of our life, and by extension, all the sentient beings. So we start by thinking there is no negativity, that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. And we create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest are delusions that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So then we come to this power of reliance, and we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And we're not necessarily looking for Buddha to forgive us. We're looking to Buddha Vajrasattva to heal us in a way. So we're looking for medicine. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, facing the same way as you. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell, which represents wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I am enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So we have this little section here, developing compassion, and it comes under the larger heading of reliance. So why reliance? In order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon others, other sentient beings we've harmed, and other sentient beings who have harmed us. So we need to develop a wish for them to be free from suffering. So think of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then maybe people who've harmed you, and particularly have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering for them sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. Now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification, and we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samayam Anupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe Vajrasattva Samayam Anupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe, Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. Next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body. Except this time forces up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech, the useless speech, lying and talking about people behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe, Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe, Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita trida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Te. So again, feel really happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And this includes yourself, because you'll be hearing what you're saying, you'll be reading what you're writing. And next is the purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you go into a room, it's pitch black, you flick on the switch, and the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So you think the same thing happens here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment to neediness and anger and bitterness, depression, resentment, grudges, jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mami Mutta Vajra Bawa Mahasamaya Sattva Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think now there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness, forgiveness and wisdom, and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And imagine that, Vajrasattva is sending the light and the nectar simultaneously. So the nectar flows in through the top and just kind of comes out of your lower orifices, all the negativities of our body, then flows up from the bottom, the nectar, purifying all the negativities of our speech, and then coming in and just kind of blasting the negativities of the mind, the heart chakra. And because of this, every single tiny subtle imprint of negative energy is eradicated from your consciousness. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mami Mutta Vajra Bawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mami Mutta Vajra Bawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mami Mutta Vajra Bawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mami Mutta Vajra Bawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mami Mutta Vajra Bawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mami Mutta Vajra Bawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mami Mutta Vajra Bawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And it's a really crucial one, because this is where we make a decision and a determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And without this, we're just going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. So this determination, this aspiration to refrain from harming becomes like guardrails. a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So rejoice in your effort for coming along tonight, and then maybe think of something you'd like to work on with your mind between now and tomorrow, some habit energy that we have. And then think Vajrasattva's delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind. He melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So let's just think a little bit about emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. And at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's do our chanting the names of Manjushri for Lama Zopa Rinpoche's return. The teacher teaching mundane good and knowledge, the teacher to all beings most confident, the world's most trusted guide, protector, savior, the refuge unsurpassed, the guardian, with rich enjoyments filling all of space, the knowledge ocean of omniscient beings, while smashing through the shell of ignorance and breaking through the cage of cyclic life. The thorough queller of intense affliction, arriving at samsara's opposite shore, his crown the crown of wisdom, consecration, his ornaments comprising perfect Buddhas. Okay, everybody. Let's have a strong wish for His Holiness to live long, the swift return of precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche. And, all of you have your own teachers as well. So make a strong wish for all of them to live long, happy, healthy lives. Okay, everyone. Lots of love. Shayla, was that you hosting tonight? Thank you. All right, everybody. Good night. Lots of love.
Venerable.